he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. Hey Mekci.
Hi, I'm already laughing.
What you giggling about already?
It's like, how you popped in on me and my mate having a moment, right? So he left. I sent him off to buy me a bottle because it's Friday. I want to drink.
Yeah.
He comes back and he's just like, "Hey." So what? He's like, "Did you forget about that other bottle that's on the
other side?" I think I did.
You even need one?
Happy Friday.
Right.
Always good
Happy
to see
Friday,
you, Dave. So Mekci and I were just behind scenes a little bit, debating all of this, oh my God, this DNA stuff that they were in court about today. Mekci is well versed in this stuff. She knows what they're talking about. Me, I'm sitting there just getting cranky, and I start doodling, and it's like, oh my,
the guy was boring. God. He was boring. I'm not even and he was stuttering and things. I was just like, man, you're bad. It was hard.
And he really might as well have been speaking French.
Yeah.
I Japanese. Did not. Or Japanese. Oh, are you serious? Do you play guitar, Dave? You do, don't you, if I remember correctly? A Nini.
Called Nini.
I don't.
Have you ever heard of Rodrigo and Gabriella? If you haven't, look them up because they're amazing.
Okay. What do they do?
Play the guitar.
Guitar. Yeah. My son taught himself to play guitar during COVID. And oh my God, he did he's good. Now he's got oh my God, what are they called? A Stratusberg. He's got all these fancy freaking guitars. It's oh my goodness.
I kind of have this hate relationship with people that went and bettered themselves during COVID. You know? I'm like, oh, you learned a new craft? Screw you. I worked the whole entire time. I didn't have time for
that. Yeah, no, he decided he was going to teach himself something during COVID. So that's what he taught himself. Well, hello, James. DB Cooper. Good to see you.
What we were saying the other day, JB Cooper. We're like, JB, GB. DJ? Who knows?
Oh, I know. A person's just goes blank. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So I have not had a good day as far as the pain goes today.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some running around to do. Just before it started to pour out. And I was like, okay, I can, whatever. It kind of smells nice. I get into one of the stores and I just go to talk to this woman about my mail. Well, oh my God, the rudest individual I said to her, you're the rudest woman in this whole building. And she goes, and she looks like she'd been so rude. She goes, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, really?
Really?
Like everybody else, personable. You that have got assistant manager on your tag, you're the rudest person in this entire building. So then all of a sudden she was like, oh, so yeah, this. And she was sweet after that. But it's like, okay, you ran into the wrong little girl today. Like, I'm not feeling good and you're going to be an ass. Oh,
Wrong day,
no.
right girl.
If you want just respect, just go to the post office.
You know,
Dan
I've
Cooper,
heard it's
DB
like hit
Cooper.
and miss. Like the last little town that I lived in, I call it a little town, but it's actually like a whole municipality that's attached to like a whole other one. But their post office, the guy behind that counter, always smiling, big old face. Just he's like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" He could have a line out the door and still greet every single person that was walking in. This guy is amazing. He was amazing.
Nice.
Post office are good. No, it's all in the person. You'll either love your job or you don't.
Oh my goodness. And she's got like the assistant manager badge. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're the Lord and Master? Like
privilege.
One of them, like, no.
To keep you from being fired. No.
Oh my goodness. Like, I thought you were supposed to have them lead by example. Now, if you're the example, oh my word.
Andy, get out of here. Go have yourself a good time, girl. What are you doing?
Hello, Dandy.
Oh,
damn, those really trees are looking good.
Yeah, they look really nice, right? See those pics?
Yeah. Self-service tills are the devil's work.
Wow.
Canceled our P.O. box a few months ago. Change of address form now 3 times. We still aren't getting mail. Oh my God. And then you'll probably go in all friendly and everything, and they'll treat you like snot, like it's your fault. It's like, what?
I actually have seen that. I don't walk into a post office often these days, but I have seen people really like just they were at the wrong place to send off what they wanted to send off, right? But they didn't have to be treated the way they were treated. And they were older people, you know, like.
Yeah. And I'm very respectful to people. Like, I'm friendly. I try to treat everyone with respect. But then all of a sudden, you've got someone who's just like an ass and in your face. I don't have tolerance for that. And the older I'm getting, the less time I've got for that.
No, I stopped having tolerance for that.
Did Siri win? Like, yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I just thought, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah. And, it's the same old thing. Don't mistake kindness as weakness.
Never.
Like, don't think because I like to smile and be friendly that I can't stick up for myself, because oops.
I've opened, like, again, I don't get out much. I don't leave my home. But the times that I do leave, I do open doors for people. I don't care if you're a man or woman. But usually the men are really hilarious because I'll open the door for them and then they like walk up and they're like trying to hold it. I'm like, no, please go.
Please don't be
go. We just like have like this weird standoff. I'm like, no, let me. By all means, go. Like,
oh my word, this world. Yeah. And then that I get home and I had stopped in actually at the THC store, and they know me. She's like, hey, Frankie.
I don't know why you said THC, and for whatever reason, I thought like a cell phone store. I was like, oh, it's just I'm the cell phone store. Okay.
I love James. I loved walking around supermarkets the wrong way around during COVIDs. That's so funny because I did it all the time unintentionally. It was like, oh, arrows on the floor. What are you like? Okay. Hubby would be dragging me back. No. Old ladies are looking at me like I just like. I do. I mean, I'm in a small town, so you just always, hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? You know? Yeah. I figured you would. You're the gentlemanly type. Same James the Isles with most people, we're the best. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, we were talking about this DNA stuff. So, a whole bunch of conversations were had between, well, through the judge, I guess, between the defense and the prosecution. And they talked about a whole bunch of stuff I did not understand for like 2 seconds. But we'll go over this stuff I didn't understand, and Mekci can explain it.
You know what I did notice in that too? The head prosecutor doesn't even sit at the table.
Nope.
That's, I don't know. There's something about that. I'm just like, ooh, okay, who's in the bullpen? That's who I'm afraid of. That guy, I don't know. Him, it's just, there's something about
like
that him sitting behind while his other prosecutors take the seats. I like that.
I think I was going to say I like that too, though.
Yeah,
it obviously shows he's not doing it for any kind of clout.
Yes, exactly. And there's some there's something to be said about that. He's like coach, like I only come out. I trust my ball players. I only come out when I need to argue.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And it's so cute.
I found it very impressive too. Yeah. I really, really did. It's like, wow. And then you've got, the defense. I did, like in the comments, last time I said something about the defense, I got a little bit of flack there. People were like, I did, like in the comments. And it's like, I'm sorry, but my opinion is,
that's you're allowed that.
Yeah. And I think the one lady that wrote me like a book, she must be a defense, like a defense lawyer or something, because she was like,
it wasn't like my husband, like my brother's wife, was it? You're like, maybe I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, delete.
I love that woman, by the way. I do. She's great.
Yeah.
She's been a great help for sure.
Your sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's nice. That's nice. We don't have lawyers in our family. I don't think we've got it. No, we don't.
But yeah, she's very lawyerish. Like you ask her, is this sky blue? And she gives you a whole explanation
as to why it's blue. Yeah. Like, oh my word.
Like, it's kind of like that. Like, that's very simple, but like that's kind of what you get from her. Like if you ask her, because I do ask her and my brother question. Like,
one of them's a lawyer, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, why is this important? Why does this happen? Like, and it's different in every state, obviously. Different states have different but it's still kind of like the basic in the raw form. It's very basic. And they understand that. And when they explain, when I ask her, like, to me, it's like, hey, I just need to
James.
on this. And she gives me the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, wow.
See, I'm right up there with James when it comes to this stuff. It's gobbledygook. 100%. Like, that is the absolute best word.
It's foreign.
Yeah, gobbledygook.
Just something you don't understand.
And I am familiar with gobbledygook. This is a word I'm very familiar with.
Well, I'm actually really good at understanding that. I've had a lot of drunk uncles asking me for incoherent things, and I'm like, okay, I got you. You want another beer? I got you.
I got you. I got you. It was funny. I was talking to, I think it was Dandy the other day, and trying to figure out about that case where the DNA was just that matched, that girl that in California to Rachel
Yeah.
Morin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the guy is, I shouldn't even say this, I'll probably get in trouble. So I won't say it because somebody will take offense to
He's
it.
Hispanic, Latin. I'll say it because I am. He's Hispanic, Latin. He's of the.
Okay, so what I said is something about, well, that's the, damn Mexican or something along those lines. And I said it because of you, right? Being, and yeah, it was, and then I thought, oh, yeah, damn Mexican anyways.
I do this thing. It's actually, it's really disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And
I meant no disrespect.
Yeah, no, I know you don't. And I never do either.
Yeah.
It's just part of the sense of humor, but I pay people.
Mm-hmm.
We pay people to cut our grass, and they literally are right next door. I know the guy's name, but every time I ask my mate, I'm like, hey, did you pay Rodrigo? Hey, did you pay Raul? Hey, did you pay Robert? I always change the name just I know his name.
Just cuz. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well said, Dave.
Which Mexicans? Are you talking about the American
we'll take
born ones? Because they're not considered Mexican from what I've heard. Can I just want to tell you guys this story. Like, I am Mexican American. I grew up in Texas. I was born and raised in Texas. I'm first generation American, right? When I moved to the state that I'm in right now, and I got a certain job where I had to use that bilingual, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody once asked me, because I had to speak to this Spanish race, and I will literally call them Mexicans because I know they're from Mexico because they made it a point to tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
They asked me what I was. And I said, Mexicana. I'm Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, where were you born? I was like, Texas. And I'm like, you're not Mexican. No eres Mexicana. You're Tejana. And I was like,
isn't that
Texan.
something?
And I was like, I can't put Texan on a goddamn freaking employment form. Texan is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm bored on this side, I'm not them.
Exactly.
And that's
isn't that something? Like, when you started to explain all that to me, I do understand it, but it still amazes me that there's still these types of prejudices out there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is. And this is kind of why I gotta feel it right that I could be jokeful like that, because you're making jokes about me.
Yeah. And I never, ever, ever in a million years would say something to be disrespectful.
No.
But I do have a little bit of a twisted sense of humor. You know what I mean? So I might say something. I know you do. So yeah, exactly. Actually,
I know that, but that one bothered me because I was like, wow, I'm less. Because
that's fair.
I had the privilege of growing up on literally just that side of the border, because I was
just across the river.
That's right on the other side of the border.
Yeah.
So I'm privileged. I'm not Mexican.
Yeah. Yes, so bizarre.
It bothered me in a big way because I also know history and how Mexico owned literally all of Texas, New Mexico, California. Like,
Right.
where
65% Canadian. So 2 arms and a leg, 2 legs and an arm.
torso with like 1 leg, maybe the head, and like half an arm. 65%.
And yeah, I'm definitely Heinz 57. Absolutely. Because I'm Scottish, I'm Irish, and then I'm Indian. The rest is Turk. Oh, cool.
Is that why
Cool.
America puts all like sugar in their Heinz 57 ketchup?
The rest is Turk. So are you bilingual, Dave? I just always think that's a gift. Oh, right. The mountains are in our blood, friend.
There always are.
Ah, the Canadian hockey.
I think like most people from who migrated, you know, the Europeans who came here first,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a lot of those are probably Mexican and Indian heritage. Like,
Yeah.
once they got in and like, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
started hooking up with people.
Yeah.
In whichever
Yeah.
way.
It is so funny because my great grandmother, she was born in 1908, and very, very prejudiced woman. Very prejudiced. And yet she married an Indian. It blew me away. It blew me. Like, she was prejudiced to the point, like, even back in the 70s and 80s, where I couldn't go in public with her because it was like, oh my God, did you just say that?
I mean, you can't be prejudiced against the own people who own the land. They were here first.
Like, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't be prejudiced against those, right? Like,
Scotland people helped the Bill of Rights and American Constitution. Clever guys. Oh, we're getting into history. I love it.
I know. And I love all of this.
Portuguese
This is all for Frankly Frankie's channel, which this is a good thing that we're talking about this because these are all things that are going to be talked about.
Yes.
On Frankly Frankie.
You betcha.
Stay tuned. We'll start putting out a couple of outro videos that highlight that channel. Go subscribe, guys.
Yeah. Subscribe and share it out. I'm looking forward. We're still talking about the first show. We're getting things. It's not an immediate thing. We are really, I want that first show to be something.
Yeah.
To really kick it off.
Yeah. Something that's you. Because Frankly is going to be something about Frankie and everything that she loves.
Yeah, it's just going to be more about my tastes and my wild theories and conspiracy theories that a person gets in their head. And did you know that Britney Spears showed her butthole? Now that I will talk about on Frankly Frankie. So with that said, let's get into Bryan Kohberger.
So any donations tonight would be greatly appreciated because obviously this one's not going to be monetized due to the word bumhole. Yeah. Bumhole.
Oh my God. Yeah. And yet she's fully monetized and she showed her butthole. Like, give me a break. Yeah, this world.
Oh my goodness.
Here, it should be members only.
Well, why can I donate? What?
So with that said, I am going to start. Bryan Kohberger's attempt to dismiss indictment denied. UI case continues with evidence hearing. So Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of deleting 4 University of Idaho students last November in their off-campus home, is in court on Friday for a hearing about the DNA evidence. And we did, didn't we? We did hear about this.
Yes, we did.
So
hard to listen to, but yes.
So a previous motion made by attorneys to dismiss the grand jury indictment over procedural issues has been denied by the judge. The defense argued that certain procedural issues contained in the grand jury indictment, including not providing enough discovery to the defense, is ground for dismissing it and taking the case back to the beginning with a pretrial hearing. Judge Petty, in a 72-page response to the defense, denied the motion to dismiss the indictment, unless this is other paperwork that I don't have. However, the defense still has more bones to pick with the state over procedural issues, which has led to the hearing that was this afternoon.
Which had witnesses.
CBS2.
It had a witness. Brought experts in to talk about.
Yes.
Really? I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just going to be a hearing between lawyers. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, they have witnesses?
Yeah, they brought a witness in.
They brought several.
Unreal. Yeah, they brought witnesses in. And it did, like that whole conversation there, as we know, just confused the living crap out of me. It's like, what?
That guy was hard to listen to, though.
He really was. Oh, Mekci, thank you, friend. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because of Britney.
Doing it for Britney. Doing it for Britney, okay?
Stop saying that word. I'm dying. So no, this was like a pre-trial.
No, the trial
was like started. This was like a pre-trial hearing.
It was like a motion, and they brought in several experts because at the beginning of it they were like, and how many? The judge was like, and you brought how many experts? And they're like, well, there's a couple of them sitting in the court. He's like, I'm gonna ask them to like leave so they don't hear any of it.
Right. And she was trying to say, oh, well, you know, like they're just kind of sitting there. It's like, what?
It's not a witness. It was like an expert testimony for an argument that for a pre-trial hearing.
Yeah. Pre-trial hearing.
A pre-trial hearing, there was a motion. They brought in experts for it. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that could be done, to be honest.
So if you guys want to watch this, it's all on Court TV. They're able to have a camera in there. So basically, we have to wait until whatever happens throughout the day happens, and for them to put out their updated video.
I can maybe try. I mean, I don't want to say like get the video and just maybe take the audio from it, or
get my fingers slapped.
Yeah, just something. It's like just download it, put it through a thing, and just extract like either the video or the audio. The audio would probably be more helpful.
And just take clips out of it.
Yeah. Maybe.
So Kohberger hearing, defense says it needs more evidence from the prosecutors. But if you watch that thing that's on Court TV, this was kind of shut down too. Like they basically, I think there's one thing that they are still waiting for as far as is it DNA that they're waiting for?
They're waiting. Well, the prosecution specifically is waiting for one more report to come through, which they expect that they would receive it sometime today. And then they would turn it in. But that's not what the defense is asking for. And that's not what they're arguing. They want... It's hard to explain. They want the previous 6 months before they got that DNA sample from the sheath. They want the 6 months of data prior to that, and then the 6 months after that, the data from that. Certain laboratories will hold certain data from
Mhm.
analysis that they do. And what the defense is asking for is something particular. They want to know specifically if there has been any time they ran a sample of DNA and it came up with a different profile or a different marker or a different allele on a marker. Again, it's hard to explain without visual proof, but they want to know all these things, and an accredited lab will keep track of these things. So anytime an accredited lab receives a sample and they extract from the sample that they took, they run that sample several times to make sure that they're always coming up with the same alleles in certain markers. And again, that those markers are constantly showing up with those same alleles. They
Mhm.
do this several times. And then they can say, okay, this is like a legit profile of this person. When it comes to comparison testing, they do the very same thing. With the sample that they receive, they do the same thing with it. They run it several times to make sure that the certain alleles and certain markers and all the markers are showing up. And when then they run them together, like, or against each other, should I say, they run them several times to make sure that they're getting the same result. That's what they're arguing. And an accredited laboratory will have documentation of this. And that's what the defense is asking for, is where's that documentation? How can I see that there's times, because there is a chance that something might come up, false positive, false negative, when you're doing comparison testing.
Mhm.
And there's also a chance that when you're running just a sample by itself, that you're maybe not coming up with all the same markers that you had on the first. How many
Right.
times did you run that?
Mhm.
And every time something comes up inky, should I say inky, is like, oh, that's not right. That's a false positive, false negative, or these markers aren't showing up.
Mhm.
They record that. And it's their
Right.
own research for the laboratory at that point.
Yeah.
They have records of that stuff. And that's what
Mhm.
the defense is asking for, essentially, is
Yeah.
give me that stuff. I want to see it.
And is that the stuff that they're still waiting for?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, that's what it was all about. This guy spoke French for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it was due to the fact that they're not sure about the testing and they're not sure about how they got the DNA. When
Right.
ultimately, the way I see it, I mean,
That's him.
it's like, okay, they got him though. They already, who cares how they process? Who cares this? His match is like 5 kabillion
Right.
zillion whatever
Right.
to yeah, like it's
But
him.
yeah, but like how in civilian terms, we're like, dude, that's him,
It's him.
right? That's
Yeah.
him. But once
Yeah.
you get to court,
Mhm. Wouldn't
there's
that be horrible though, if a
certain
guy that did all
procedures.
of these attacks got off because somebody got up there and confused them
Yes.
with something they did not
Wouldn't that
understand?
be a hell of a thing?
That's where I get disturbed is
And this is what the defense is doing. This is what they
yeah.
want. They want to see that. They want to be like, hey,
And
I
wouldn't that be the
see
most disturbing thing?
that you need to get from simplest terms, from A to C,
Mhm.
and you skipped B.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do I know that sample that you received from that crime lab
Mhm.
was even the
Mhm.
sample that came from that crime scene? It's been right. It can be mislabeled. I don't know
Yeah.
their protocols, right? And these are the things that they're questioning. And then it gets to, how do I know that once that sample was received to wherever I sent it, That there wasn't a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other samples laying around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they're questioning. And that's important because they can get stuff thrown out like that.
And that's the disturbing thing? That's the part that bothers me.
Yes,
It's just
we
like,
know that
if the
but
guy is guilty and everything literally proves, even the DNA, that he's guilty, why are we? And it's not even that they're basically even challenging the science. They're just trying to confuse the F out of everybody.
James, can I tell James the story? Can I tell James the story I just told you?
Yeah. Now, this is absolutely interesting. It is, but it does not change my.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not naming names. I'm not naming labs. I'm not naming states.
Yeah. Yeah. Give her bullets.
I'm just going to give you a story.
Yep.
Which we probably already caught on. I work in the field. We did some testing where an attorney office, some attorneys, exhumed a body to give us a bone sample from a person, right? And they wanted us to do comparison testing, paternity with the child. We did the testing, right? It came out, doesn't matter what the result was. But we did the paternity testing. The lawyer specifically asked us if they could send us previous results from another test that they did with the same, what's supposed to be the same people, from a different company or a different laboratory. Essentially, that's what it was, a different laboratory. I'm not saying the laboratory was wrong, but the crime lab, which they specifically received a sample from, this other laboratory received a sample. It was a bloodstain card. And they received it from a state crime lab. They sent us those results from that testing, and the profile of what was supposed to be a paternity test, the alleged fathers, their DNA profile was completely different. And it come to find out from just the story, the lawyer told my boss that they heard from the judge that the crime lab, their state crime lab, was notorious for mislabeling samples.
So what happens to a place like that? Like, do they get shut down?
It's a state. What? It's a state lab. What are you talking about? Like, I don't know. They could get shut down. I mean, people should get fired, obviously.
Yeah.
But like,
right.
That just goes to show that states, at human error, dude. I'm not even saying that it's like they did it all the time, but human error, like at the initial spot, can speak volumes. And this just kind of relays into this. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not at all saying that this is what happened in this case.
Right.
But this stuff happens.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's okay.
Yeah, and this is why the defense has the right to ask for all those things.
Yeah, I understand the right. I do understand all of that.
Yeah.
I just don't like the intent that is behind it. And I know that they're supposed to create doubt, but I just wish they would do it with fact. Oh, is there a Netflix documentary about a crime lab?
How to fix the drug scandal.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's jump back in here. So
I'll be right back.
Friday's court. Yeah. Friday's court proceedings at Latah County Courthouse dealt with 6 motions, including Kohberger's defense lawyer's quest for a motion to stay proceedings and a motion to compel prosecutors to share DNA evidence and methodology they used. The defense said it did not have the lab results of 3 unidentified male DNA samples, 2 from within the house and 1 from outside the Moscow house. Prosecutors, though, said they provided all of that they've had. So the judge did kind of step in and, said, you're all sworn attorneys. There has to be some level of trust in discovery. So he was basically putting this over to Ann Taylor, because she's constantly saying that they're holding back, and they're saying there is nothing else. We've given you everything. So at every angle, she's putting out more paperwork saying, listen, I want this, this, and this. And the prosecution is saying, but we don't have this stuff. Stephen Mercer of Maryland. Now, this guy is the fellow that was extremely confusing to listen to on, oh my goodness, was it? Yeah, Court TV. A criminal defense attorney specializing in DNA, who was the defense's first witness, said forensic evidence is often central to the case. It's essential for attorneys to know about the details of the testing and investigation of the DNA evidence. He said there are pretrial concerns involving suppression and, again, come on, and Fourth Amendment issues, adding there has to be factual investigation of the conduct law enforcement during forensic analysis. So he's kind of saying people were not, possibly not giving factual evidence. That's the way I'm kind of seeing it. There has to be a factual investigation. The defense also brought in a professional genetic genealogist from California who said the kinds of matches a genealogist can provide only be considered approximate and are never definite.
Right.
This is why you never hear of 100% match, she said.
Yep.
Still, the genealogist continued, when multiple matches are made based on DNA, it's very easy to sort out the list of most likely versus least likely. The Goncalves family was at the hearing. Steve Goncalves, Kaylee's father, told News Nation, Ashley Banfield, that he planned to attend the hearing with his wife and lawyer. He said this is all about making sure he sees justice for his daughter and other victims. Can you imagine how heart-wrenching that would be to sit there and listen to this?
I can. I don't want to, but I could, because
Yeah, and
that guy has always been vocal. You could see his feelings, like whenever he talks. He loved his daughter. And yeah, I don't blame him. He wants to see it, be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I seen where he said firing squad would be his preference.
Can I be part of it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he went and like signed up.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll take one of those, please.
And that's
word.
I mean, I think that's his right,
Yeah.
Personally, in my opinion, that's just a civilian. I was telling you that I asked my brother the other day, I was like, how do you feel about fathers like going against their child's like abuser or unaliver?
Yeah.
And he was like, they messed up and they need to go be checked by 12 of their peers. And I was like,
yeah,
I can feel that.
Yeah.
I was like, I
yeah,
can be down
that's
with
right.
that. Like, I'd be down with that. But like,
yeah.
I mean, sometimes, dude, like, I don't know what I would do if I had a child and someone did something to my child. I would.
Ooh, bad stuff.
I would feel like I would lose it. Like,
Oh, yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't survive it. He's got 4 other kids that make him survive it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
having one child,
Ground
yeah,
home. Yeah.
I don't know that I would survive something like that.
Man.
So it says Kohberger's defense team, led by Kootenai County Chief Public Defender Ann Taylor, asked the prosecution to provide 3 other DNA profiles that were found at the scene that were not Kohberger's. So we're given everything we've gotten from the lab. I don't know what else to say. We've given everything that we know exists. And this comes from Bill Thompson, the Latah County prosecutor. So they're asking for something that does not exist. We'll put in another inquiry to the lab for other communications. But as far as we know, everything has already been provided to the defense. Thompson getting a little fired up, says they're asking for something that does not exist. And this is the problem. This is where I run into trouble. They're like delay. I think that they are they've got that October 2nd trial date. And I think they're trying to avoid going, what is that? Okay, what is it called where they go right away? They don't, when they go to court right away, they're not waiting.
A speedy trial?
Yeah. He's trying to not use that speedy trial and yet still delay the October 2nd date.
Can I tell you a non-relevant story, but that ties into the story?
Okay.
That the lawyer said, where he said, I can't argue something that doesn't exist. That thing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I misquoted that, but it was something he said doesn't exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a Pontiac G6. Pontiac went out of market. They stopped making them. It was a 2008. They stopped making them. Mm-hmm. So to get parts for it, you kind of had to go online, search around, whatnot. Mm-hmm. There was like a certain code that I kept getting on my check engine light that I needed to figure out, and I finally figured it out. It was like a solenoid. It's something that goes in, like literally goes in your engine. It looks like a big spark plug, but it has like a plug-in at the end, but it's just bigger.
Okay.
And I had called O'Reilly's Auto Parts store. I don't know if you guys have it in Canada, but it's here in the US.
Okay, no.
And they're like, yeah, we got it. Just come pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Went up there, talked to an attendant worker at O'Reilly's with a whole bunch. There was other people there too who just for whatever reason felt the need to join in on the freaking conversation that I was having. Mm-hmm. I walked out of there crying.
Oh, no.
This person literally told me, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. And I'm like showing her a picture of it. And I was like, and I literally told her, and I was like, just because you don't know it exists
doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right. Yep.
And that goes back to what that lawyer was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue something that doesn't exist. It should exist, is the thing. What the defense is asking for is something every lab keeps track of. Well, at least every accredited lab does.
I think what he was asking for, though, was nothing. I don't think this part had anything to do. Let me see here.
Because they're asking for the records. And he's like, oh, that doesn't exist. No, it exists. It's there.
But maybe what they're saying is they've already got this paperwork.
They got like a half-ass report of it. And from what because I heard that part in the actual video. What they got, and whatever her name is on the defense side, Taylor, said, oh, we got something, but it wasn't what we asked for. They wanted the 6 months before and the 6 months after. So a whole year. And they didn't get it.
But maybe that's what they're waiting for. Like, they're putting zero trust in the prosecution, and the prosecution is not allowed to play the games that Ann Taylor's allowed to play.
Yeah.
If it's there, they have to be honest. Ann Taylor can lie her face off. We didn't get it.
But
we
she's
didn't
not
get it.
lying. But that's the thing. Like, what she's asking for in her motions, you can go back and see it in the motions. What she's asking for, that should exist. The full documentation should exist. So why isn't she getting it?
But maybe that's the thing. How they're saying she's got it. She's got everything. So this is here. Prosecutors, this is where I get it. Prosecutors previously said the DNA sample taken via buccal swab from Kohberger's cheek while in custody statistically matched the DNA profile on the sheath at the scene. Thompson previously filed court documents announcing the state of Idaho was planning to seek the DP. So, I mean, we know that those numbers are astronomical from that buccal swab. And that's all I care about. I don't care how they got there.
Yeah. But this
we
is
know.
Also, I'm playing devil's advocate today, guys, by the way.
Yeah.
And being that person. This guy, that expert that they brought in, also said that the original sample that they had taken from this environmental sample that they took, which are talking about the DNA on the sheath, possibly, I don't know, right? They only tested it once. So remember what I explained earlier about people testing it several times to make sure that extraction has the same profile every time. Only tested it once. And then when they got the comparison sample to something to compare it to, they only tested it once.
But do we know they only tested it once?
That's what that guy is saying.
Yeah, but how does that guy know?
Because he probably had the documents.
We've seen the documents. I have never seen anything that has ever said that
I've never seen anything about the actual DNA thing and how many times they've tested anything. I've never seen that ever.
Yeah, I have not seen that breakdown either. I haven't seen, but just like James is saying, doesn't the lab have to follow regulations?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why it's important. Like, I'm not arguing, like, they obviously they got a court order to take his DNA and then they compared it and they got him, right?
Right.
We know it's him. We all know it's him. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the in between, right?
Right.
And this is what the defense is doing. They're arguing the in between. How many times did you test that thing?
Yeah.
An accredited lab will test something several times to make sure that they're coming up with the same profile every single time. And it follows regulations. There's a chain of custody. This sample comes directly from this person. That person took it and he said, hey, I'm going to hand this to you. You're going to take that directly to the crime lab, but I need you to sign this. There's a chain of custody, right? And once it gets to the crime lab, they need to have a chain of custody. Like with the thing, like I would expect that whoever is opening up the sample is probably sitting in a room by themselves just with that sample.
Yeah.
Not a whole bunch of people sitting in the room with a whole bunch of samples sitting around. There's protocols to follow when you're accredited. Like you have to follow certain procedures. So from the time that collection is done and it's received at the lab, because it's not being handed off, it's actually being mailed off. People don't just then hand it off. It's mailed off. From the time it's received at the laboratory, receiving, that's signed. I received this package. And then it gets handed to another person who takes that, signs it, and then gives it to another person. And it has to go through all these things. And they
Right.
know that that sample belongs to that
That
receiver.
particular person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they know
Mhm.
that. And that
Right.
needs to be proved. And it can be proved when you're accredited because you have all of that documentation. Where's the
So there,
documentation for this?
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I find it interesting. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Oh, I know. You know, I
Right?
told you yesterday when you said that to me, I was like, dude, I'm salivating at the mouth. Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
is this person?
Yeah.
Because
You're gonna want to look at this.
Bryan Kohberger's defense team has brought in some person named Gabriella
Mm-hmm.
for their side as their witness. And she's,
Mm-hmm.
according to her, she's a DNA expert.
Right.
And she might be able to tell a story, whatever questions are asked from her, like to
Yep.
her from the defense. But
Yeah.
once the prosecution gets a hold of her,
Mm-hmm.
she just needs to tell it how it is. Like at that
Oh
point.
yeah, they'll take. That's what I'm hoping. Like I'm hoping that
Yeah.
all of this confusion can be explained in a way that a jury can actually understand it. Because the way it was explained, oh my God, it was more frustrating than anything
Yeah,
else.
I
I just
know.
ended up,
You
yeah,
were
I
like,
just
I
ended
don't
up,
even get it. I don't want to know it. Like,
yeah, it's
yeah.
like, oh my God.
The dude was boring, to be honest.
Oh,
Like the
he was
little
dry as,
bits that I watched was boring and it was hard for me. Like I had to really focus hard to
yeah.
be like,
And
oh, that's what he's
and
saying.
you knew what he was talking about, So imagine me, and I'm going to be more like the jury, I'm just a
Mhm.
layman, and they're going to be going, what? So they're not going to want that maybe particular person on the stand because, holy, they just tune him out. You can't help it.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. So Thompson wrote in the DP filing that Kohberger acted reckless, indifferent to human life, and exhibited utter disregard for human life. Despite evidence provided by prosecutors in the case, Kohberger's legal team has continued to maintain his innocence. In response to the DNA match obtained following his arrest, Kohberger's legal team said there is no connection between Mr. Kohberger and the victims. There is no explanation for the total lack of DNA evidence from the victims in Mr. Kohberger's apartment, office, home, or vehicle. Additionally, Kohberger's legal team also filed another motion this month responding to the prosecutor's request for an alibi and claimed the 28-year-old often drove the late hours in the night alone. There's the alibi. Mr. Kohberger has a long habit of going for drives alone. He often would go for drives at night. He did so late on the night of November 12th into November 13th. Mr. Kohberger is not claiming to be at a specific location at a specific time. And this time, there is not a specific witness to say where Mr. Kohberger was at each moment of the hours between late night November 12th and early morning November 13th. He was out driving during the late night and early hours. No alibi. His alibi is he was driving by himself around and around that neighborhood. We got you on camera. Like, are you kidding me? No, not a great alibi. I mean, really, he has to explain his vehicle, I guess, being where it was. I mean, there's all sorts of footage of his car driving around. There's even one at Banfield when the cop's talking to those kids. You see his white car go by. It's like, what? You creepy little SOB. Pretrial hearing held in the case of Bryan Kohberger. And we've seen this. Let me see. Invest in gold, guys.
My name is Jack Haney. I'm the CEO at Patriot Gold Group. I'm here with Dan from I Allegedly.
A pretrial hearing for Bryan Kohberger is underway right now in Idaho.
The defense for the Monroe County man accused of killing 4 college students is pushing prosecutors for more information. Let's bring in 69 News reporter Priscilla Ligori with an update. Priscilla?
Jim and Melanie, the hearing has been going on since 1:30 our time, 10:30 Moscow time. These are common for big trials to determine what evidence will or won't be heard in court.
Latah County Judge John Judge is considering 6 motions today, 2 from the defense and 4 from the prosecution. The judge did not allow the hearing to be streamed live, so this is video from past proceedings, and we've been following the updates from multiple reporters in the courtroom. They say the defense called on the prosecution to turn over more information about DNA profiles collected at the scene of the grisly killings in Moscow, Idaho. The prosecution told the judge it turned over everything it has, adding Kohberger's team is asking for things that don't exist, but that it would check again with the lab. Among the topics being discussed.
You see, this is where I get concerned. Like, can the prosecutor just go, listen, it's not there? Are they allowed to throw BS out like that, where we know the defense is allowed to go, oh, but it's there. We know it is.
If you don't know it exists, there's no liability for that.
Yeah. So
that's kind of what I was trying to get at with my story, was if the lawyer himself, the prosecution or the state doesn't know that that kind of stuff exists, then there's nothing for them to argue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this is it. And yet, in my personal opinion, Ann Taylor is just like, what the hell? Lady?
She is doing everything a defense attorney should do.
Should be doing. Yeah. Absolutely.
Looking
and
through
like you and I were, oh yeah, she's doing her job and she's doing a good job at her job.
Yes.
It's just that I think annoying, some of these laws, what's annoying is the outdated laws.
Yes.
That's what's annoying.
What we talked about. You're mad at the fact that the laws aren't keeping up with the times. And
absolutely.
You're right, because this genealogy thing is new. And it's not part. Yeah, it's new. And because it's new, these labs can't be accredited. And that's what they're getting at. This is what they're arguing. Like, and it is right. It's because the laws aren't keeping up with the times.
Yeah. And it's very frustrating. I mean, I just want the jury to hear fact, not mumbo jumbo hocus pocus. I want them to actually hear facts, because if this guy's going to be convicted, he needs to be convicted on facts.
Yeah.
Not loopholes. You know what I mean?
And
it's just
what she's doing at the moment, because it's there. It's there is the thing.
And I can't be mad that she's doing it because I think she's doing I can't be mad at that.
But you're mad. Like, this guy cannot get away. And
like it just has to. I just don't want to see him get away because of some loophole. And the fact that defense attorneys are able to do this, I mean, of course they're going to use it if they're allowed to.
Absolutely.
But I just find it disturbing that they're by law able to throw out smoke screens.
Yeah. Because the laws honestly are outdated. And I think the best example to show that is the Freedom of Act. The Freedom of Information Act. Like, when that was made, they weren't thinking about the internet.
No,
what that
absolutely
could do.
Not. And the thing is, they're saying, well, you're getting into people's information. Well, I can tell you from working on Ancestry for a lot of years, that you can privatize all your information. So if you don't want law or anybody else to get your information, then you do it privately. I think once it's out there and you have decided not to privatize your tree and your information, you are allowing public to get at it.
You know,
You are allowing this. If you don't want it to be used, then privatize it.
You know where the loophole in that is? Even if you privatize your thing, is someone else who knows that they're attached to that tree doesn't have their thing privatized.
Well, there is that. I don't know though that other people can get to her tree. Even like I can't get to a privatized tree.
No, you can, but like someone who has their shit public. Sorry, I just took a mess of it.
So like on mine's public, and it literally says public. So if you're using something and it says public, you know that anybody is able to take and use that information how they want. You know that. When you've dug into a private account, and I don't care if it's law, if it's I don't care who it is, it's private. So therefore get yourself a warrant.
Ooh, mamas. I'm going to blow your mind real quick.
Me, or can I?
Genealogy and
Mark it, set, go, or are we good?
No, I'm like, I'll blow your mind later.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Let's do it.
forensics. That's why the defense called expert Stephen Mercer, an attorney from Maryland, and Dr. Leah Larkin, a genealogist from California. Kohberger's defense is alleging he was on a long drive by himself when 4 Idaho college students were stabbed to death on November 13th. He was arrested at his parents' Poconos home in December. There's still the defense's motion to dismiss the indictment on grounds of error in grand jury instructions. The Idaho Administrative Office of the courts tells us that motion will be heard at a later date.
Something else that's expected to be discussed at the hearing is whether the trial currently set for October 2nd will be pushed back. We're going to continue to follow what's going on in the courtroom, and we'll have another update for you at 5.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm not gonna lie, that girl looks like my other sister-in-law.
Oh, did she?
She did a little, just the way she said, "We'll be back with an update, thanks." And then we went, "Thank you."
Nothing there. Oh, that's funny.
She's not my mom's favorite. I'm just gonna
Oh,
say
that one.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
That's how she is. They're just like, "I'll be back with an update, thanks."
Okay, girls. I like this here. Idaho victim Kaylee Goncalves' relative wears pro firing squad t-shirt to the latest Bryan Kohberger hearing. I wonder who that was.
Dude, can we make a shirt like that just says like pro firing squad?
I think so.
Right?
I probably could. I probably could. I think I figured out a way to finally get wording on there. So the hearing saw the alleged quadruple deleter's defense team justify the alibi presented this month that he was out driving alone on the night of the deleting, and to lay out challenges to the techniques used by authorities to gather DNA evidence. During a break in the proceedings, one of the Goncalves family members was seen wearing a t-shirt promoting the firing squad. That I like.
Are you gonna be mad about it? You know what I mean? Like, it's like just anyone who's like a sour Sally probably would be like, that's not right. But you can just get out of here because no one cares. I support that. That's cool. That stuff's cool. Like, it's a way, I feel like it's a way for them to express still that they have somewhat of a sense of humor, even through all the troubling times.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't think they want to walk around with hate.
No. And
You
I
know?
think they've made it pretty clear that that's not what they want. They just
Yeah.
want justice.
Well, I heard Steve Goncalves say one time, all I can forgive him. All we want is justice, and justice to me is the electric chair. Then I'll
Yeah,
forgive him.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's I can agree. But that's me again, people. I don't. My opinion. I'm down for that. Death penalties. I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm down. Like,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you and I were talking earlier about how passionate a person can be on their
yeah,
beliefs and how it can come across wrong. So
yeah,
Mekci and I, like, sometimes we'll sound heated,
yeah.
but we're not heated. Passionate about our point maybe, but at the same time, everybody's opinion is welcomed
Mhm.
because it makes us think.
Yes.
It gives us a different point of view. And I mean, my biggest thing is with the DNA, and I'm assuming that a lot, if not all of the jury is going to be the same. I have no
Mhm.
understanding of it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's one big smokescreen.
I'm laughing because I asked Frankie the question. I was like, "Hey, Frankie, if the Bryan Kohberger defense asked me to come be an expert witness, would you hate me?" She sure said, she's like, "I tune you out."
I tune you out and still adore you. Damn straight. Yeah, I'll just tune you out.
And I was like, "I won't be mad. Like, I'm not gonna be mad."
Yeah, and I could not be angry about that
No.
stuff. I really, really couldn't. I couldn't be. But I just I know.
I feel
Yeah.
it's you. It's you. I know it's you. I know it's you. It's you.
It's him. So, like, just put your arms up, put a freaking thing across your eyes and go, okay, shoot. Like, I'm good.
But
I know.
this is why I love court. This is where it gets
Mhm.
it's defense against state.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
straight up match, and they come
But
out.
it's not an equal playing field.
They come out with everything. I mean, it kind of isn't per se, because the defense really has to do nothing.
No.
They have to do
And they
really
can
nothing.
BS.
But the
They can
prosecution, with
They have
the
to work their
evidence that they
butts off.
have, right? The
Yeah.
evidence that they can present, they're allowed to
Mhm.
present, and what they have, they
Mhm.
can really spin any story that they want with
Yes.
that evidence.
Yes. Yeah.
So
That's my problem. Yeah. That's my problem.
or the state.
Yeah.
Did I say the state? The state can spin that story with the evidence that they have any way they want. Like,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know how we can come out. This is why it's the think tank, right?
Mhm.
We're not trying to accuse anybody. We're not out doing anything. We're just like taking what's been said by cops, probable causes, whatever,
Yep. Yep. Documents, you
and
bet.
coming up with theories off of those, right?
Mhm.
Essentially, what the state ends up doing is
Mhm.
just going with the best thing that fits. And obviously, they know more. They might actually have footprints that we don't know about, right? Or if you DNA also from victims, like if you're taking someone's life
Mhm.
first
Mhm.
and then you walk down with that weapon, you're probably leaving drops to the next
Yeah.
victims whose lives you take. That's evidence. So they can build a story off that. They're like, we know you went there
Right.
first and then you went here. It's more than what we know. But
Right.
they just take the evidence that they have. They weren't there. They take the evidence that they have and they just tell
Yeah.
their story.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I would never be a juror. They wouldn't like me. They wouldn't like me at all. Yeah, scratch her. Get her the hell
No,
out
I
of
would
here.
immediately try to get thrown out because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No. Okay, so let's take a look at this again here, friend. So it says at the latest hearing on Friday, Kohberger's lawyers laid out arguments on 6 motions, which included the state's demand that he produce evidence on an alibi for the deleting. Prosecutors have also insisted he provides witnesses that can support his alibi. However, his defense said that at this time there's no specific witness to say precisely where Mr. Kohberger was. Wah, 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 wah. He was out driving during the late night and early morning of November 12th through 13th. Adding that he is not claiming to be in a specific location. Well, that's okay. You don't have to because they've tracked him. Prosecutors have demanded more specifics over his alleged alibi and say that driving in the area does not exonerate him and instead places him at the scene. Ahead of the trial in October, the hearing saw both sides discuss several other points of contention, including a request from Kohberger's team to compel prosecutors to disclose the DNA profiles they will use in court. His defense also filed a request to delay the court proceedings to allow time to investigate potential procedural issues with the grand jury, which indicted him in May. Alongside insisting upon his alibi, prosecutors also countered with a request to keep DNA profiles protected while also filing motions over issues in the timeline of Kohberger's upcoming trial. So this must be today. That's a different suit. Judge John Judge. I like him. Kohberger wore a suit to Friday's hearing, an unusual step as he would typically be in a prison uniform. True story, which legal experts say is an attempt by his team of lawyers to humanize him amid a swell of public interest in the case. Now he's a monster in a suit. Genetic genealogy surrounding the DNA evidence in the case was one of the chief issues being heard, with a member of Kohberger's defense team spending around 30 minutes explaining the way in which police find the material is crucial to its legitimacy. A genetic genealogy expert was also called to testify, as Kohberger reportedly seemed intent and focused on the witness testimony before him. His star defense lawyer, Ann Taylor, exchanged words with the alleged deleter, and Fixler said he cracked a smile. Oh my God. While witness joked about the spelling of a scientific term. Goncalves family member taunting t-shirt comes ahead of Kohberger's highly anticipated trial, in which prosecutors have said they will pursue the DP against him. He has pled not guilty to the deletings, and his attorney said he is looking forward to clearing his name. Yeah. If found guilty, however, he could face the firing squad. Yes, please. And that would allow the punishment. Bruce Skog introduced a bill that would allow that punishment in the state. Shoot the mofo. Jazz. So we've seen this. This is when he was first. Jasmine. The hearing is the latest step on the ongoing legal preparations for Kohberger's trial. The prosecutors have been facing mounting pressure to compile their case and present it within 6 months, as he has not yet waived his right for a speedy trial. Prosecutors are set to lay out, oh my word, you two. Prosecutors are set out to lay a slew of evidence over the alleged crimes, including his DNA. Police say they found on that sheath that was left at the gruesome scene. Police claim the DNA was a 99.9% match to Kohberger and his father. So yeah, I mean, question that for sure. Can't be him. Possibly leading to his defense focus on the legitimacy of processes used by the authorities to gather such material during Friday's hearing. Yeah, I'm a little biased, I think. The other key piece of evidence prosecutors hope will convince a jury is Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra car, which was seen in the area on CCTV surveillance footage while he was just driving randomly around. One of the surviving roommates that was not attacked also said she had seen the deleter and he had bushy eyebrows. Okay. Yeah, the bushy eyebrows. So, relative of University of Idaho victim wears pro-firing squad shirt to the Kohberger hearing. Let's take a boo. This is from Fox. They are in the description.
Are trying to get a stay in the case. They want an investigation of possible issues with the grand jury. That's what they're trying to show today. Nancy Grace, host of Crime Stories on Fox Nation, with me now. Nancy, good day to you. Good morning. I want to show you a couple things here. Let's get to the issue. This is what the prosecution says their evidence is against him. All right. You got a knife sheath found inside that house, DNA on the knife sheath, phone ping near the home 12 times, phone ping the home around 9 a.m. the next morning, and authorities say they can trace his phone near the scene dating back to August. Wow. So they want two things. They want a motion to stay the trial, Nancy, and they also want a motion to compel prosecutors to share certain evidence. Do we know what that evidence is, or is it obvious based on the...
I'm always interested to hear her take. She's fairly blunt.
She's so angry.
Yeah, she comes across very angry, but she's usually quite accurate.
It's annoying.
The details that I just read there.
This is what I'm gleaning. The defense has a two-pronged attack. One, they're attacking the grand jury indictment. They are claiming that the grand jury was biased, and they are claiming that the grand jury was giving the incorrect standard of proof by which they were to hand down a true bill. The standard should be probable cause. It is in Idaho and in many other jurisdictions. The defense wants it to be beyond a reasonable doubt. This is what that means. Look at this. This is probable cause. I need that much evidence. This is beyond reasonable doubt. You need that much evidence. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. Forget that. That's going to be thrown out. That's their first bone of contention. Second, and much more problematic, is the attack on the state's DNA evidence. We know that evidence was obtained outside the Kohberger's Pocono home that matched to Kohberger's father. That indicated the only possible donor of DNA on that knife sheath is the biological son of the father. They then went and got a buccal swab out of his mouth, and they got about a 1 in 5 octillion match to Bryan Kohberger. That's their problem.
Yeah, that is a problem for them. Okay.
I'm just gonna hang out in the chat. I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna hang out in the chat. This is so fun.
Yeah, go for it. We're just about finished up. So, accused Bryan Kohberger, who allegedly attacked 4 University of Idaho students, was hauled in front of the judge Friday, just 6 weeks before his trial. So the marathon hearing with the DNA expert witness testified as far as Kohberger's bid to have prosecutors turn over additional evidence related to the sample taken from the knife sheath found at the scene. Lawyers for Kohberger also readied their argument for putting the case on hold in order to investigate concerns. A failure has concerned in the jury selection process has occurred in the jury selection process. During an early break in the proceedings, one of the family members of victim Kaylee Goncalves was reportedly seen wearing a t-shirt promoting the firing squad. Meanwhile, prosecutors are expected to argue Kohberger's team needs to inform them about any alibi witness or evidence they may present at trial. Kohberger. I'm going to be curious when these girls start speaking out.
Can you scroll up really quick? Because I just have Patrick Swayze. Can you scroll up really quick?
Yeah, Patrick Swayze.
Because we just need something. No, scroll up.
Further? That was Patrick Swayze.
Right there. Right there. Why is Patrick Swayze in this? What is this?
Day in history. They're just kind of putting stuff through. I don't know.
Can you send that to me? Because I'd love to have that. Those are fun facts.
I'll do it right now. I don't know if it's going to be like a regular looping commercial or not, but yeah, there you go.
No, like I just need the article and I'll get the video, so it's fine.
Okay. I think that's what I sent. Yep. So Kohberger's defense lawyer, Ann Taylor, said her client had a habit of going for these long drives.
Guys, can we just talk about that alibi for a second?
Yeah, please.
Where were you for 2.5 hours, Bryan?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Where
just
were
like
you?
really.
It's from a movie, by the
word.
way. Also, fun fact. But for real, this guy is literally saying he just drove around. He's like, I was just driving around all night. Yeah, we see that, Bryan, from your pings. We see that.
Yeah.
Where
This is
were
where the
you
problems. Like, oh my.
in between?
Yeah. Right?
Because we see you. We see your pings leaving Pullman. And
Exactly.
almost getting to the highway that leads you to Moscow.
Yeah.
You just go, you go dark. Right?
That's right.
And then all of a sudden you pop up fucking 15 minutes away down the highway going south for Moscow. Hello? Where were you?
And immediately after his phone went dark, cameras started to pick him up.
I just can't even, like, I know.
Right?
And the thing is, here's the thing. This is why all that DNA thing is important.
Yeah.
If they can get that thrown out, or just, like I said earlier, just take a piss all over it at court, it looks really bad for the prosecution. Because at that point, the only thing they have is circumstantial.
Right. Yeah. Which, I mean,
that's what we know, right? We don't know if they have more.
Well, even hypothetically, let's just say all they have is circumstantial. Many cases have been won on circumstantial evidence. Do you know what it's like?
It scares me. You know, I don't like.
Not really, because circumstantial evidence can literally tell you a very good story that nothing else can.
Well, yeah, but also you're hearing that story from the state. They're telling you a story. right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have an issue with, and this is with like all cases that I've seen, right? Where it's just like, oh my God, how'd they get to that person?
Mm-hmm.
It's all random, right? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no idea who it is that you're getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at what I'm looking at as far as what you're presenting to me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you don't have it.
Yeah.
You don't have
But
enough.
like I say, there's a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And it's
that-
happened for like, and
this
let's-
is why 12
Charles
years,
Manson.
This is why 12
Charles Manson was
years are
convicted
important.
on circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
That's all they
And
had.
this is why you get judged by 12 peers. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
if you go that route, because sometimes they elect out of it, but I would always suggest going by jury.
I would think so. I would think so.
Because you can have, this is why people elect to go this way, because you have people that feel differently or think differently or don't see it the way you see it. Like, to circumstantial evidence might convict some people.
I think it convicts a lot of people.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But sometimes, for whatever reason, you get a jury. I guess a good example of that would be the O.J. Simpson trial or the Casey Anthony trial, where they had peers just saying, no, you don't have enough. You didn't make your case.
Oh, but that case again, like
I know.
I can't even go there. Like, it's like it really does. It sends me through the roof.
Yes,
knowing
because
that this
you
stuff,
know it. You know it. He's admitted it. But you couldn't prove it. And that's all in the court system. That's why the court, you did something illegal, you're going to get tried. And let your peers decide what you should get. It's an interesting thing. It really is. It's
but I agree totally that this is why we have trials.
Yes.
This is exactly why we have trials. I mean, honestly, if it was just up to me, this SOB would be standing in front of a wall and I'd be holding a gun.
Can you imagine if James ran a country?
I think I could imagine.
He'd be like,
that.
guilty.
Right?
Guilty.
Was it a British case? The first DNA case? Do you know the answer to this, friend?
No, I don't know fun facts like James Jameson does.
You know some pretty good fun facts, friend. Yeah.
You know what, James? I'd live in that country. I'm not even lying. I would.
I'd do anything to escape
just black
the
and
US.
white
No
at
offense.
that point. It's black and white at that point. But then you will have to treat those cases that are not so black and white as black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't want to be a lawyer. No.
I know.
And I don't want to be a juror. No.
I don't want that job. I don't want
No.
someone's life in my hands. I don't want that. I never want that.
That I could deal with that. That's not the part that
That
I don't
bothers
like.
me.
Oh yeah, no.
Not you.
If I was
me.
sitting in a no, if I was sitting in front of Kohberger, oh yeah, I'd be asking for one of the T-shirts from Kaylee's dad. Like,
I mean, there's something about his face that tells me it's him.
There's something about all the facts that tell me it's him.
But I can't go off of this. I have to.
Yeah. But I mean, you know as well as I do, even though there's this DNA thing, you know as well as I do, he's guilty as sin.
I do.
Yeah.
They have him, like you say. I'm with you 110%. They have him. They got a court order specifically to get
Yes,
his DNA,
exactly.
and they
Yeah.
ran it against I don't know,
Mhm.
whatever sample that they had. And I'm gonna just continue to say that because I don't know. I feel like that's the right way to go about it. Like, just whatever sample it is that they had from the crime scene. I don't know which one.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And it was
Ultimate.
a quadrillion match.
Oh, it was like
There's
astronomical.
not even that many people in the planet.
Solar system.
Like, you gotta go to a whole another universe.
Right? Yeah, we got to take a jump through that wormhole to go get the rest of us. It's like, oh my
It's
word.
quadrillion. What?
Right? So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, it's going to be interesting. I'll give it that. Sad thing is I don't think we're going to see it. We're not seeing anything at this point, and I can't see that changing.
And it's annoying to me because I want to see it. I want to see the trial.
Absolutely.
I want to hear what these guys are saying. Now that I know what experts are being called in, because that Gabriella person is an expert, DNA expert. According to the defense, I'm doing air quotation marks, guys. Is coming in. And I just know that the prosecution is going to lay into that one.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for
it.
sure.
I want to freaking see it. I want to hear it in real time.
Yeah, I was going to say it might not be in real time, but Court TV will probably show us afterwards.
Yeah. But that was a problem with the Lori Vallow case. Like, or, because we all followed that one. Like JJ.
Absolutely.
And oh my God. Why is my mind going back?
But it was one of the more followed cases
We
ever.
all saw that, and we all knew. We all secretly knew what the outcome was with those kids because they were missing.
That's it.
For a long time. And we saw those parents gallivanting through Hawaii. Just
it was, yeah. For whatever reason, I did not follow that one. Which is really,
I followed it from the start. A lot of people did because I think the reason people followed it from the very start was because they knew. We all knew, like, those kids aren't with us.
Yeah.
They're not with us. Like, they're not here.
No. I mean, it was way.
And we all read through that BS that she was given, he was given, everybody was given. We're like, no.
Yeah.
And it was making us angry. It was making a lot of us angry knowing that you were like, why aren't they arrested? I don't understand. Why are they not arrested already? Why is she not in jail already? They gave her plenty of opportunities and she never took it. Like, all she had to do, and obviously we all knew that those kids weren't with us, but all they asked her was, hey, present them in court. And she didn't have to do that. She could have just taken a picture with them with the newspaper, the date, video cameraed it, and be like, hey, here they are. But she didn't, because we all knew. That made me mad. They took forever to arrest her and him, and just
Oh, now James, right? What the hell?
Yeah, we talk about that all the time because that's weird. The Debbie Collier case, it's weird.
Watch out, kids. Watch out. Get back.
Women don't go that way when they decide to take their own life. They don't go that way. Not usually.
Not
very
only that,
extreme.
like the whole scene.
Yeah.
Like
all very
everything
extreme.
with her case. I did too. A few things. There is a Debbie Collier playlist too. It was just like, oh, bizarre that one.
Will always bother me, along with that. Oh my god, I can't remember. Nicola Bully.
Mm-hmm.
That one's weird too.
Yeah. Absolutely. A recent case that's a little bit odd is, okay, we just got an update that they had that DNA match with this fellow that we seen leaving a house, and that DNA from that attack, he attacked a young girl is what they said, and then he ended up with his DNA being on Rachel Morin.
So the video.
Let's see here. Is it in Discord?
No, I have it up. Actually, I'll play it off of wait, what? Where am I?
Yeah, Rachel Morin, the girl that was jogging, and they found her in some pretty rough shape.
I'm sharing my screen.
Unalived. Okay.
And I think I might have slowed the speed on this to like super slow. I did. I slowed this down to like
Trying to get
really
a good
slow.
look at him. Did you notice that he is carrying his shoe? Look at that right there.
He's wearing shoes, dude.
No, he's barefoot. He's wearing his socks.
Look, you can see the Nike swoosh sign. At least that's what I thought I saw.
I think he's socks.
Right when he's going down that step, you see the Nike swoosh.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know, man. This is my opinion.
Like,
obviously, I'm not sure. Of course, I'm not sure.
Like, look at that. See that?
And this is slowed down super slow, like 0.2 speed, guys. So I can make it regular speed, but I like it.
Now let's look at the feet. I'm sure he's wearing socks.
Right there, you see that swoosh.
Could it be Nike socks?
No, Nike socks don't look like that.
They got the swoosh on the ankle.
They'll either have.
Could it be a necklace?
The swoosh on the sock will be tiny, and it would be on right at the ankle, like at the top or the back. It wouldn't be like on the side.
So there's also
this is
a playlist with this. We did the whole I did the whole press conference.
Why wouldn't it let me fix the speed on it anymore? It's weird.
I don't know. He is so confident. Yeah, he's got a gold chain on. And look at it. Seems like somebody hands him something. Why? Oh.
My mate.
Where's the rest of the door?
We actually kind of looked at that, and I wish I could. Why can't I speed this up anymore? I'm really confused by that.
Like, what guy does what he allegedly did and walks out the front door all casual like this? No shirt on. Like, it just doesn't. He looks way comfortable. Like, he's not worried about anybody seeing him. He's not going through the back door, sneaking out the back door.
Can you hear that?
Rescheduling. We
had yeah.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock that we needed to run down.
Yeah, who leaves like that, right?
As of right now,
I'm just gonna skip forward because that's not what I'm interested in.
Yeah, who leaves like that?
Where is it? Jesus Christ.
Guys, for the rescheduling, we had a
I can grab it off the
meeting
site
to inform
too.
our community as soon as possible.
I'd rather do it
That's why
this
we're
way
here
because
tonight.
it's on Clipchamp and
As
we
you know,
can't
since
get.
Saturday, August 5th, 12 days
I go
ago,
right to the
the
sheriff's.
County Sheriff's Office has been working around the clock.
I don't get in trouble for that. At least now.
Yeah, well, I downloaded the video and then put it through a
There's
thing.
that one too. Yeah.
So let's just watch it. But it'll come up here in a second.
State, national, and international headlines.
It's not that clear because it's sideways, right?
Find the killer. And
It'll
bring
come up
justice to
clear
those
here in a second because they do put it in clear form.
part of nearly every
No,
modern
it doesn't seem like he was in a rush, Dave. Like, isn't that the most bizarre thing ever?
That DNA
No, he doesn't. Like he did like, you could see it. It's like he pounded his chest. You know that thing like when people give knocks? You know what knocks are, right?
Mm-mm.
Where
No
you
idea.
Instead of, it's like a handshake, but you give knuckles.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
I didn't know what they were called.
You do a
but
pound,
yeah.
right? And this guy, when he was
Yep.
walking out the door, he like it looked like he hit his chest twice,
Mm-hmm.
and then put his hand out like for knuckles. Like it was
Would a young
weird.
girl know that? Because when you see the arm of this girl, she's not very old.
He's
That's not. That's
young. And they call her young.
Just so everyone's aware, this video after this press conference, this video will be posted on our social media.
See, I like, yeah, he's so calm.
and she closes the door after him.
All right, you want to play it one more time?
Like, that does not look like somebody who just attacked someone.
And I have a couple of questions about this too, because they're going to show his picture here on the side and then there,
We're going to
right?
post it on our social media.
But I have a
Yeah,
couple of
almost
questions.
have
I
the
just
profile.
paused it. Most houses, right, when you see them and they're fenced in,
Mm-hmm.
they will have a fence or some sort of opening for their vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And some sort of opening on just if you're parking on the street and you come in, which would be right here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a barbecue.
There's a barbecue there. Yeah.
Sitting in front
So
of
the-
it. And this
So there's-
guy.
So there's obviously something off camera.
That's what is it? Is there another entrance off camera, or does
Gotta
he
be.
hop the fence?
I gotta think there's another way out.
All right, you want to play it one more time?
Yeah, I would think he would just. Yeah, doesn't they're gonna need a gate somewhere.
Yeah, it brings a lot of questions, like because you know
What
how I was asking you, like, was he visiting Los Angeles and lived in Maryland?
That's what I was wondering too, James. Like neighbors' cameras, but the thing is this didn't happen with Rachel until quite a bit later.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't
6 months,
even,
right?
more
6
than likely,
7?
they didn't even canvass that area. You know, there was, they probably didn't even canvass.
I'm still looking because I know from the video we know the exact date that happened. I'm still trying to find just maybe any like news article or report, something from like the actual police that said, hey, we documented this on this day.
I don't think you're gonna find it, my friend.
I'm trying really hard.
Yeah. I mean, do you know, in a city with a population like that, how often things like this happen in a day? even a day.
I know. And I just so happened to find something in Los Angeles for that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many attempted break-ins and
I can imagine.
just in the area of the same neighborhood? I was like, oh my God, is this something I'm gonna have to like deep dive into as well? Is this the same guy like attempting to get into places? I just can't.
I'll do another live on that case as well. I hope he hasn't definitely escalating, Dave. Absolutely.
He
Just
doesn't have
hope
a
that
type.
he's not from Mexico and has like
Already
headed back.
left.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even from Mexico, just from anywhere else that's not the US. Like, and he's already been bye.
I don't think he's living in Mexico. Not dressed like he is. That doesn't seem right to me.
Dude's
I
got
mean,
style.
yeah.
Those pants are either Nikes or Hollisters. Like, they're some sort of jogger. The ones with the high waistband.
Mm-hmm.
Fitted,
He's dressed
yet
well.
not like they're joggers. Fitted joggers that are brandy. I don't know what they are. But
Yeah, I'll touch on that again. I don't expect to see much out actually for the next while, because until they get even some kind of tip as to who this could be, we have to hope he's still in the US. And based on certain things, I would think so. But
I hope so.
Until that time, it's going to be pretty silent. So I'm not too sure. They did put out another.
This dude here.
Pardon me?
This dude here, if he's still on the loose, here around in the US, watch out. Because this dude has no type. Like Dave said, he's escalating. He went from like what's supposed to be like a home invasion to like just attacking someone at a bar. What?
Yeah.
It's so different.
Very different.
Ages.
I think the idea is probably there's more out there. And if a person can, maybe come across another case that they recognize this guy and call into the cops, because I can't see him going from what he did to a younger girl to beating someone in the face with a rock.
Me neither.
Like, it's just.
And the question comes into play: is he from Maryland visiting California? Is he from California visiting Maryland? Is there something else that's happening there? Right?
Is he following work?
Knows this trail.
Where is he from, James? Colin Pitchford. Oh, and I absolutely will.
How does he know this trail? If he's not from Maryland, I don't see a guy like that. And I'm being prejudiced from what I know of his race. I don't think a guy like that just goes out searching trails in a new state that he's in. But who knows?
How the hell did he end up on the Mon Pa Trail?
Yeah, he has to be in the area.
Like, how the hell did he end up there? That is the most, from a big city to the Mon Pa Trail. Right? Like, and again, is he following work? Is he...
Right. You know how I was telling you the other day that my mate had those guys that had a work visa and then it was running out? They had to go to Georgia for their little like check-in, check-out thing. Then they were shipped out.
Okay.
So why isn't it possible that could be done in Maryland? This guy could literally be gone. I don't know who he is, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, like, what brought him to a little town of about 10,000 to the Ma and Pa Trail. Do you know what I'd be interested in knowing? Is if they've got any road construction happening around there.
I would be interested in knowing that too. These contracting companies, what's a new build that's going on in the area? Apartments, houses. This dude was in shape. He had something like
Yeah,
he was a
like
youngin, but he was in shape. He did some sort of lifting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he looks young to me. He looks like he's in his 20s to me. It's in there now for you, James.
But you're right about the contracting companies. Like,
yeah, I'd be really, really interested.
Housing, apartments,
yeah,
a traveling contracting.
Well, you know what? I'm almost. Well, I don't know. He doesn't have a tan, so there. That kind of almost.
I don't have a tan either, Frankie.
But you don't work road construction, right?
No, I do not.
Like I'm thinking, if he was working road construction, they usually have pretty good tans.
Yeah, farmers' tans.
Yeah, they do.
But this guy's also. You know what? Now that you say that, he did pretty much have an even freaking tan.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't have like a.
I'm pulling it back up right now.
Yeah. It's not like he has like a worker's tan. Do you know what I mean?
Like farmer's tan. Yeah. Like where you can see the
where your
and
face, arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did not seem to have that at all. So what, like a desk jockey of some kind? What the hell?
You are absolutely right. I'm sure. Am I sharing my screen with you? Yeah.
Oh, let me put that up. Sorry, I didn't see it there, friend. Yeah, he doesn't have any farmer's tan.
You were absolutely right. You would see a very distinctive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would even see it on the neck right here.
Yep.
The arms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you would.
So he doesn't do outside work. Hey. Look at us.
So with that said, guys, we will do something else on this. And I think that as far as Kohberger, I think that is what we've got for now. I'll wait and see. Like I'll watch and see if anything else comes out, if any more documents come out. I was going to go over the documents that did come out, but realistically, they were nothing.
No,
they were nothing burgers. They were just
like Bryan Kohberger.
Big old nothing burger. Well, thanks, Mekci. Always great to have you on.
Yes, I always appreciate you having me. Thank you. Guys, thank you for being here. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Weekends.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Y'all stay cool. Literally and figuratively.
Bye. Bye.